Hello everyone, this is Prem Kumar. In this video, we are going to look into Admin Studio. Admin Studio is primarily for the administrators who can perform a lot of administrative actions for your applications. It's not only for application, for the entire server, you can do a lot of operations. Instead of explaining everything via presentation, I would prefer to explain it via tutorial. I will give you a short walkthrough on the Admin Studio. Let's check there. Admin Studio is designed for pega administrators and application developers to perform the day-to-day administration task. Admin Studio came into picture from pega 8 version. In the earlier versions, we had a standalone Java application called System Management Application or SMA, from where we need to perform the application administration task. As you can see in the recent release, Pega is trying to bring all operations and tasks within Pega. For example, the Pega Deployment Manager that replaced any third-party deployment tool, Agile Workbench and scenario-based testing that can also replace other tools. Similarly, Admin Studio was introduced to replace the SMA application. Admin Studio is very user-friendly and easy to use. I'll walk you through the Admin Studio. The main work in the Admin Studio is to manage the system resources. Let's navigate to the Admin Studio from Dev Studio. If you had completed the previous lectures on Dev and App Studio, you'll be already familiar with the top and bottom panel. I will straight away jump into the left panel. From the overview, you can find some metrics about the current Pega server. You see the version, it is 8.7.0, and the users who have logged in, there are 3 users, and the nodes, there is only one node. In real-time production environment, you may have more than one server load balanced in the cluster. We'll see more about it during the node classification lecture. You also find some metrics about background jobs, agents, queue processes that contributes to the background processing. Let's go to the next one, resources. Under resources, you see the first one is requesters. First, I will give a brief summary of requesters. In Pega, there are 4 types of requesters. Browser requester, where end users access Pega via a browser. That includes me. Batch requester. For background processing jobs, Pega creates a requester of type batch. App requester. This is for listeners and external application services. Pega creates a requester of type app. Portal is used for HTTP access as a portlet. We have a dedicated lecture on requester types little later. See, I have filtered the requester types based on the type, and there I see browser, batch and app. I'll filter browser. Just apply it. Here you can see there are 3 browser requesters, but only one with the operator ID. That's what I logged in. I used the administrator at pega.com. You also see other 2 requesters with empty operator ID. This is just because I launched the login page, but I never logged in. Here in the 3 dots, you have some operations to be done on the requesters. If you click there, you can trace, you can check the performance details. You can check the clipboard of the requester. You can also interrupt and terminate this requester. So you can basically kick out the requester. You see there is another resource, requester pools. You find there are few out of the box requester pools. Why requester pooling? Let's say you expose a service called get loan details. Third-party applications can access this service to get the loan details using a loan number. Pega creates app requesters to process the incoming requests. So using requester pooling, you can reserve a set of requesters reserved for use by the services. By this way, you don't want to create a brand new requester every time on an incoming service request, so that you can reuse the existing requester from the available pool. Just like some carpooling, you can think it of. Why do we do that? You don't want to use up your resources for every incoming request. You can just reuse the resource. So you don't want to start up, initialize a requester and use some clipboard pages. Instead, you can use the existing resource that can improve the performance of the service. About background processing. Before Pega 8 release, we had only agents, standard agent and advanced agent. Standard agent processes the records in queues, while the advanced agent runs in a schedule and can perform any background job. Pega introduced two new rules with Pega 8 version, jobs and queue processes. Both can perform the background jobs. Both the new rules improve the performance of background processing comparing to the older agent rules. Pega's ambition is to deprecate the agent rules and use only the job scheduler and queue processes going forward. But for now, we do have both rule types in the Pega 8.7 version. Let's click on agents. So this will give us a list of Pega agents that are available out of the box. You see there are totally 78 agents. You can also check the status of the agent as running, stopped, and if it have ended in exception, we can also check the details. So this keeps on running. So if you want to stop or if you want to trace, you can perform those operations at the top buttons. Agent queues. We do use this administration almost every day in production. Whenever your application depends on a lot of agent and background processing, then you need to keep an eye on the broken process frequently to check if there is any background processing failed. If you find any broken queue item, you can check the item details for the error message, and post that you can either choose to requeue or remove the broken queue item. Here you see broken queue goes into different statuses like scheduled, immediate, processing, success, and broken. Jobs. You find all the job schedulers that are scheduled to perform certain jobs. You can find valuable metrics in the report. You can see the executions, number of executions, the success rate of the job scheduler. You can also override this job scheduler. On the three dots, you can also trace a job scheduler run. Queue processes. Here you can see list of available queue processes that comes out of the box. You can see the queue item details in the report. As the administration activity, you can look into the broken item link. You can stop the queue processor or you can also trace the queue processor. Listeners. Currently, you see there are no active listeners. Listeners tend to wait for some specific event or trigger before executing the action that is configured in the listener. There are different types of listeners available. File, email, JMS, MQ that waits for special events. Say for file listener, it waits for an incoming file in a specific location. If it receives the file, then the file processing service may begin. Similar to agent administration, listeners can also be stopped, started, and can also be traced. About node classification and log categories, we can see it in a separate lecture. System settings. Pega software inbuilt comes with a lot of system settings with the default value. This is just a read-only report. In the infra setup lecture, we saw in the prconfig file, we can define the system settings for our application, but that is per server level. If you want to make it uniform across all the servers in a cluster, you can configure the system setting based on database level. So you can find the source, like it can be database, it can be prconfig, it can be JNDI. There are different sources for a system setting. APIs. Here you get a Swagger page where you can explore list of APIs that is shipped within the Pega software. Under the application category, you can find APIs that are related to cases and data processing. For example, you can see get case type where you can get list of case types. You can also get assignments by passing the assignment ID. So all these case processing and data processing can be shipped or can be exposed to external systems out of the box. You don't want to build anything, it comes within the product. Under the DevOps category, you can find APIs to get the application quality metrics, guardrail compliance and test coverages, etc. Under the sys management, you can find the APIs that are related to the administration of Pega server. You can specify the queues conditions, or you can also purge the cache. You can clear the cache on the node. So all these administration related APIs, this also comes out of the box. Under system and nodes, you can find the system details. You see the system name, the production level. You also find the list of servers available for the system. Since this is personal edition, there is only one server or node that is part of the cluster. And you also see stream service is not running in the cluster. There seems some error with the stream service. That's why you see a red flag at the top. You can also queue some servers. Selecting this option and you can start the queues process. With my experience, I do use Admin Studio often for few of the tasks. Stopping agent listeners, tracing the agents or jobs, checking the agent queues and debugging the broken processes. We are at the end of this module. Hope you have a clear understanding on the 3 studios. See you in the next module.